But any other major takeaway from you before we move on from 207?
Well, the whole missing weight thing was unfortunate for Ray Borg and Johny Hendricks. At least we saw Johny Hendricks that was motivated. I think in training camp, I thought he looked so much better than he did in his last fight. It did look like he wanted it, even though he did not make weight and miscalculated it or whatever it was. But, I don't know if he's going to go up to 185 pounds. He's going to be very short at that weight class. He could have got the win against Magny. There's no doubt about it. But I just don't think he's got the same heart in the game. It's very difficult to go from being a champion, preparing for these big fights and getting paid all this money to not being the champ or not even being close to getting a title shot and having to prepare to face some, number 8 or number 7 ranked guy in the division. That the motivation just simply isn't the same. And Johny Hendricks is a guy who's been cutting weight since he was probably 3 years old, for wrestling. It's crazy. So he's probably sick of making weight, sick of having to put, boiled chicken in his mouth, and drinking all that water. So I don't know. I do wish him the best. He's a great fighter. And I hope that, he does find the right weight class for him and something that makes sense where he's not going to get injured. But again, this sport it's fascinating to see how quickly it evolves.
Have you had boiled chicken since your last weight cut?
Oh, no. Hell no.
So Magny made some mistakes in transition, I believe. Not his cleanest performance, but he gets the win by unanimous decision. I think what's interesting about Johny Hendricks in terms of his fighting future is that he very easily could have won this fight. I mean, Bisping thought for sure he won the fight. I know we didn't necessarily share that and thought probably they got it right, but could have gone either way. But for Johny Hendricks, right, this wasn't the knockout loss or the one-sided loss that a lot of people and sports bettors had envisioned after he did miss the weight. So, I mean, do you think he fights again? And if you're fighting for money, that's not always a great thing. I don't know what else there is to prove or gain other than dollars.
Yeah, I think he fights again. I think it's probably going to be at middleweight, and that's going to be even more difficult for him. And I think at this point in his career, unfortunately, he is fighting for money. And I hate seeing that, but that is a reality. I mean, Quentin Rampage Jackson, I think his whole career he fought for money, still was able to get a belt and all those things. And, it's a difficult situation to be in. But I think Hendricks, that's all he knows at this point. So I don't know if he's going to open up a gym or something, but whatever it is, I hope he does well, man. He's given us a lot of